So I said to him, would you do 20 on that as well? And he's like, no, I can't do 20 on that. Best I can do is 30. And I'm like, well... Hello, my value viewers. Quick recap of what I've sold last week, what's going out right now, and so, straight into it. First sale last week on the Sunday was a Panasonic Digital Lumix DMC LS2. 5 megapixel, silver, squarish, nice little camera, $22.99 including delivery. Crosley record deck, $39.95 plus postage, $46.90. 40 quid for something that cost me 4. A SkyQ hub, I got $7.99 plus postage, £12.19. Lego Batman, thrown in with the PS3 last week from Walkington, $5.47, delivered price. This was also a throw-in. I bought 6 games for a tenner. I said to him, look, can you throw this in? And he did. And now TV Smart Stick without a remote, just with the cable and the USB. And despite that, I got £13.95 and postage, so it came to £18.15. Forza Horizon 3, $7.49. It's a 50p to 60p game. SkyQ remote, I paid a couple of quid for this. EC055 voice remote. Do not overlook these remotes. $18.95 plus postage, £23.15. It sold really quickly. Next, another remote, $8.99. Delivered. Fine for a remote, it was a throw-in. A Roberts Radio 927, 3-band radio, paid 3, sold for 11, 15.20 with the delivery. Just because you're only making a fiver after all fees and costs doesn't mean you should go non-protected. A Photax dark room lamp. Plugged in, went red, £12. The whole bundle cost me 4. £16.20 delivered. I got £45 for a 50 pence pop. Faded and a bit damaged. The rare one, no longer being made. I think they call it vaulted. £45 plus postage, £49.20. Then there was PS4 game. Sid Meier's Civilization 6. £16.95 free post. The whole bundle I got off that site. Still buying stuff off there. Still getting really good value. Next, Sony video camera camcorder remote control RMT814. Every button tested, which is what I put. $7.95 delivered, £1.90 delivery in a large letter. Football Manager, yeah. Next was Football Manager 2014, PC, Mac or Linux. It's not too old, but it was new and sealed. Guaranteed to be good. $12.95 plus postage, $15.45. Came out with one of the boxes in the pile. I'm still going through those and picking bits out. I'm trying to get rid of my backlog. I did take a look to the tip and I'm walking towards the skip. This bloke tapped me on the shoulder, yellow vested type guy. He'd run over. You can't put them in there. And I'm like, it's for electronics. Oh no, but you're obviously a business. This many you're a business. It's a £50,000 fine if we let businesses use this. And then we'll fine you. And I'm like, fucking hell. Fucking hell. What do I do with them then? And he's like, it's not my business. You do what you want. You have to pay for the disposal. I'm like, fucking hell. I'll take them away again then. Next, Sony Memory Stick Pro 256 megabyte. It was an extra that was in a camera, Sony P200 in a box that I bought a couple of weeks ago. Anyway, as soon as I listed this, it sold straight away and it's going internationally. Oh. It was going internationally and then they cancelled. And I just got a feeling that they cancelled specifically because of the international charge and they hadn't noticed. One of those things, isn't it? It went from $11.95 to me to $0. Never mind. Do you know what? I've got a feeling that's gone out. Ah, it has gone out, but to somebody else. So anyway, I relisted it, or rather changed it to 1 instead of 0. Listing was still up. Next was the second game from that PS4 bundle from that site. Wolfenstein 2, The New Colossus. Wolfenstein 2. The New Colossus. PS4. Nice game. $6.59. Next was a Cytec joystick. And I paid £1 for it. I got $11.49 plus postage, £18.44. Next, the Sony memory card from earlier. It didn't go international this time and they paid the $11.95. No issue with that. Next, Dead or Alive Extreme Beach Volleyball. I told you about the girls with the bikinis in the video. Well, it sold for $13.95 it went for. Must have been an offer. I'm happy with that. It was part of that bundle that was 50 pence a piece. Next, we've got 3 things that I've got here at the end of the week. These, they kept me hanging on till Friday evening and so it's been slotted in here. They bought it on Tuesday, I think. 4 days, don't they? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Like 11:30 at night. Nike Rush 2, but they're kids size. Really nice, hardly worn. They cost me a couple of quid and I've sold them for 10. Then there was Bro Clock. I've got another one to show you today. That one went for $10.29 plus postage, $14.49. And last thing of the week was Grand Theft Auto episodes from Liberty City. It's Grand Theft Auto 4 remade with 2 different episodes. A biker gang and the enforcer for a nightclub. Yeah, they're both good games and you get 2 separate games, but they also link into the Grand Theft Auto 4 storyline in that some of the villains in the Grand Theft Auto storyline are the heroes in this. It's from their point of view. Another one from the bundle that I paid £40 for 70 odd games about a month ago, roughly. Anyway, that was nice. 22 sales in total, one of which was cancelled, and the total figure 382.80. It's the middle of summer. Well, it's June now, but this was last week in May, running into June. And of course, it also included a bank holiday. It was really nice bank holiday weather. I'm sure people weren't on the internet buying things. It could be better, and I am aiming to be better, especially with the pickups I've got this week. And I'll show you what's going out today, or just to be wrapped. I'm back. What's sold this week? 4 official Sony PlayStation 1 inserts. The rest of the cases were smashed, so I've sold the inserts separately. £2.95 for the 4, plus postage at the 350 rate. £7.15 delivered. It's not too bad. I'll use more bubble wrap, wrap it in cardboard. There's the pictures if you see it. Then there was Grand Theft Auto 3. There was a lot of games in the last week or so because I've been listing a lot of games. I've still got loads to list. Ploughing through them gradually now when I've got time. Grand Theft Auto 3, PS2. Nice clean condition with a good map and a poster, as you'll see in the pictures. I've got pictures up, there you go. £7.95, still holding its price, that. As long as you've got a map, you really need all the good, clean, collectible bits. And then Tony Hawk's 2, Tony Hawk's Underground 2, Thug 2, as people call it, for the Xbox original, £6.95 delivered. Both of those were from that haul. Namco TV Plug and Play, had 5 games on it. So this was £18.95 plus postage, £23.15. There's a picture of it. 5 games. So there was Pac-Man, Galaxians, Dig Dug, some racing game, and another space game called Bosconians, which I don't think we got it here, or if we did, I don't remember it, as an arcade game anyway. Next, Pioneer remote control. There you go, there's a picture. VXX2883 DVD recorder and video plus remote control, £16.95 plus postage. Do not sleep on your remote controls if you see them in boxes. The bigger and the more buttons, the better. Even if they're old and greyed and out of date and discoloured, so long as they're not all rusty as F in the back or corroded. Anyway, that worked fine when I tested it. £16.95 plus postage. Can't go wrong. Then, last thing today is this set of recipe cards. It's like you got a set every week of It's a Partworks of cards. They're square cards with recipes from a particular cook. Marguerite pattern, like 900 cards in there, and some spares to write your own recipes on. And that went for £29.95 plus postage, £36.90. It's quite heavy actually, 3.5 kilos, and obviously 900 recipes. And it's got a nice little box for keep clean. They're all wiped down, white clean, but they're on card, you know. Yeah, so that's the end of the what's going out today. And that's £141.62, but some of that was from last week's. So yeah, I'll get this wrapped and then I'll show you what I've got that I got yesterday. And it's, yeah, stick around.
Later that night.
How are you doing? I'm back. It's about, well, it's 8:05. I did stuff during the day and now I'm back to tell you about what I bought on Sunday. I wrapped things, I listed things, and now it's car boot time, or car boot haul time, as it were. So I've got my book from 2024, day to a page. I went to North Cave, absolutely sweltering. Wasn't that busy at first. I got there about 6:20, but it soon filled up. It was packed. It was so packed, once they filled up, they started using the far end of the car park. Yeah, they opened a bit which feeds onto it, and they trailed half a dozen stalls into the car park. Well, I mean, what more can you say except fantastic. And all casuals, well, a lot of casuals, obviously there's still traders in among the casuals. This isn't any particular order except the order I wrote it in the book. Some of the bigger things are at the beginning, and then some of the bigger things are at the end. So, stick around. First thing I've written, although it's close to the end when I bought it, was this hi-fi, which is a JVC UX P550 cassette. If I can get it to eject. It won't eject. Ah well, it won't eject unless it's powered. So there you are, cassette, radio and CD underneath there. I have no idea whether it's working, I haven't tested it yet. It's got all the requisite connectors on the back, power supply and speakers and various other bits. I'll show you those in a second. Yeah, it's all JVC. It's not a brand I go after, but it was there and it was cheap-ish. So it came with speakers that look like that with the grill on, and they look like that without the grill on. Nice silver cone, little tweeters. And I've got the other grill, just here. No marks, no chips, no scratches, no nothing. Very nice. The label's got a mark on it there. Never mind. So that was 12. I said to the lady, can you do it any cheaper? Oh, it's got a remote. Can you do it any cheaper, because obviously the CDs, the cassettes often don't work on these. And she's like, oh no, it's for certain working because it's my son's and he's just gone to university. And there's the wires with it as well. What there is a pass through USB, a wireless charging port, and a Bluetooth adapter for older hi-fis. It's designed for older hi-fis. It's straight off eBay. They're about £8. They're about £6 or £7. I think they're about a tenner. So as a throw in, it's not bad at all. This will come in handy. I'll keep this. It's got surge protection and 2 outputs. Can't go wrong really. And it's pass through. So you don't need the charger plug for your phone or whatever. That's really nice. Along with that came, because this is why I paid 12, I actually did a deal with her on 15 in the end, with an HP laptop dock and power supply. And that power supply's got a figure 8 cable with it. There we are, found it. It's the 3-pin figure 8. Call it cloverleaf. These are quite expensive on their own. Well, the main issue with these is I paid £3 on top for this, assuming it'd be about 20 quid. Well, they're selling on eBay for about £8. Some of them at £9 delivered. With the power supply, which I'd normally try for £15 on its own. The HP ones seem to be very common, and the laptops go wrong, but the charging stands don't. Never mind, I've learnt my lesson on them. Don't buy them. If you see them, don't buy them. You know how I say things like those grow clocks, if you see them, scoop them up. If you see one of these, it really isn't worth it. Unless you get it for a quid. Even at a quid, if it's selling for £8 delivered, it's a bit of a toss-up, isn't it? But the remote, somebody's trying to get £18 for the only one that's on eBay, but nobody's sold one in 2 years, so it doesn't really matter anyway. I won't be putting it on separately. It'll go with whatever remains. The speakers go on their own for 20 quid. If the cassette doesn't work, then I probably will sell the remote on its own. So that wasn't bad. As I say, it wasn't the start, but I thought I'd get it out of the way because it's bulky. Right, next was stop lock. Everybody loves these. And with hackable cars like Mercedes and BMWs working on an electronic key fob that you can basically buy a £35 thing from AliExpress and hack it with it. You can buy them with instructions. The £35 thing's not going to knock this off, is it? When you put it around your steering wheel. Yeah, these are very popular now. Well, still popular is probably the best way of putting it. They've always been popular, and even the second-hand ones, 25 to 30 quid on that. That cost a £5. Next, Blu-ray player. There we go. LG BP 620 Blu-ray, no remote. So it was only £3. Well, these are going for like £30 with a remote. It's a 2-pin, but it also comes with a 2-pin to 3-pin adapter. So that wasn't bad. I got these. You know I like these. I've just sold one of these. Well, it was the 115. This is the 110. It doesn't have as many ports on the back, but it has an 8. Doesn't need a power supply. You just press the reset button and it becomes a hub for your SCAR-Q. This is the SCAR-Q it is a hub for, but I don't have the remote. He had some remotes, but he wanted money separately for them. Anyway, I paid £10 for the 2 of these. It's a 2 terabyte one. It's got 2 terabyte drive in it. and that will sell for £6 or £7 or £8 on its own. As I say, figure 8, no power supply needed. Right, next, Robert's radio. These are becoming fodder for me. I find them everywhere these days. This is quite a nice one. No dents or anything. As you can see, it's quite clean. And I haven't tested it yet, but where's that figure 8? Bear with me a sec, I'll get a figure 8.
A few moments later.
Would you believe it? Every plug that I pulled was connected to something that was wired in. Right, we'll have a go with it. Put the radio on. Let's have a look. There's an on off button. There we go. Well, it's humming. Lights on. Volume. Tuning. Oh, wait a minute.
A significant increase in the past year of aid from China, not with...
That'll do. So that's tested now. So now that's worth 11 or 12 quid. It's cleaner than the last one that I sold for 11, plus postage. So that's not too bad. Got one of these. Oh, did I say the radio was £3? Different store, but same area. Echo Dot. There you go. Let's plug this one in. Oh yeah, there you go. Already working. I think you just turn it on there and ask for Alexa. Alexa, hello, Alexa. It's not wired into my Wi-Fi. That's cool, that's working, great. Next. It's all in bags around my feet like it used to be. I had a bit of a tidy up because I was getting new Wi-Fi in the house this week. So a lot of what was in the dining room came in here, mortar sort, so that he could get the wiring in. And in the end we put it inside the window of the front room. So I didn't need any of that. But it was nice to get it all clean and sorted. So anyway, I got a new grow clock for £1 with a power supply. Another £10, 40 or whatever it is the last one sold for. Got a Casio calculator in an old box from the 80s. Or it could be late 80s and early 90s actually, I suppose. It's very light. The big empty space in the back where there used to be like electronics, but it's the same shape and size, and I think model number. It used to be a HS8, this is an HS8G. Anyway, it's a solar calculator, working fine, nice and clean. 40 years old or whatever, 30 years old, 40 years old, something like that. Cost a quid, should sell for 5 or 6. There isn't a lot in those. I just like to keep them in the shop occasionally. And then we're coming on to the good stuff, because yeah, that stuff isn't the good stuff. Let me just swing the camera around a little bit. Right, so the first thing of the good stuff, I'm reading it in the order that it is in the book. It isn't necessarily the order I bought them in. Canon Ixus 8x optical zoom with a battery, but it's not charged. The battery's a bit reluctant to come out as well, a little bit bulgy, but it's clean and tidy. So this one was a £5. Yeah, not too bad. Yeah, this is the Canon Ixus 160, a £5. On the same stall, I also got a box of Bics, 100, 90 plus 10, brand new box of Bic biros, which is the only one I use, the black, thick black biro. That was £3 for 100, so I'm putting that down as a lifetime supply of Bic biros. And all these batteries, these were £3 as well. There you go. So we've got about 80 CR1620 1620s, 16 across and 2mm deep, and then about 80 2016s, which is 20mm across and 1.6mm deep. But that's not what I really wanted. He also had 8 lithium ion CR2 camera batteries, and in it there was some other type of little tool thing that's for scraping woodwork. Anyway, the whole box was £3. So that one, bad £6 spent on the same stall for those two items. Yeah, I was pleased with those, very pleased. Next I got those two PlayStation lights. One of them worked, but was very dim, that one. And that one has had its batteries changed because it was all corroded. It wasn't working. Anyway, that one's got a replacement battery out of the 3, and that one's got all 3 replaced. You can see the difference in brightness, can't you? Doesn't matter. I got them both working fine, and they cost me £3 for the two, £1.50 each. Well, you know, I've already got one of those, just like that, but it cost me 50p. Well, those two, £1.50 each, they're stock. I will sell them. I don't know what I'll get for them. They can't be worth much. There's all sorts of there on eBay, but none of them are very expensive. I got a red wax lava lamp. Plug in. It's not working. I don't know whether it's the bulb or the switch, but it could be the fuse, I suppose. Something's off, but I'll get it working. It cost me £2. Then I got a remote control. Let's get it the right way around. JVC, surprisingly. Not the same thing as that, but it is DVD and VCR, and it sort of works. Can you see that? But down the left hand side it's not working as well as it could, although they do seem to be working at the moment. That one's not working, but it's an old one and it's a screw together one, so I will unscrew it and clean it and see if it works. Cost me 20p that's not bad at all, is it? Next thing I've written down is these verbatim Blu-ray discs. Now they've opened 3 of them as though they were going to use them immediately and then not use them at all. Maybe they don't have the right machine. Anyway, it's 5 Blu-ray discs, rewritables, probably only 7 or 8 quid. That cost a quid. Same stall, a Sony USB floppy drive for floppies, and it's USB. That's basically all you can say about it. I've sold these quite well. They'll go for 5 or 6 quid plus postage. That one was £1. Next was a USB light ring lamp. I've had this one particular model before, and these little brass ferrules break. There's one there and there's one there to screw it onto a stand. Well, it meant to come with a stand, but the stand was missing. That's fine. It's plug-in USB with a brightness control, an orange and whiteness control. So that was 50p. Next, yeah, I'll go with this one because it's written down here, although I got this quite late. I got this on the way back to the car with the hi-fi. Said to the lady, if you don't mind, I'll leave the hi-fi with you and I'll come back with some extra bags. On the way back to the car with the rest of the bags, because I didn't have room in the bags for that hi-fi, I came across this. Actually, it was packed like that. And I'm like looking at it thinking, oh, that's a nice microphone. Oh, it seems to be sealed. And I picked the microphone up and this was underneath it. If you see what it is, it's one of those, use your dictaphone. Sony personal note taker. Brand new and sealed. Microphone that goes with it. Not the same make, Speedlink. Brand new and sealed. So I said to her, are these two a bundle? Because that was on top of it. And she says, yes. I said, how much is it? She says, £10. Oh, okay. Anyway, I'm looking around the rest of the stall. I'm holding those with one hand, looking around the rest of the stall with the other hand, and with my bags underneath, between my legs. And I came across this, which isn't particularly good, but it's got its own power supply. It's a Samsung. I thought it wasn't particularly good. Pink Samsung. PL21. It does have a battery, but it's swollen. It was stuck. So I'd look at the card, and it's a 4 gig SanDisk. And as I say, it's got a Samsung adapter with a power supply thing, which flashes red and orange when it's charging. So it charges in the camera, the battery, if it works, which it doesn't. I did actually plug it in with the battery in, and after a minute or two, it did turn on. So I know it's working, but I don't know how good it is. And I'm going to have to buy a battery to find out, because these are quite expensive. Samsung PL21 pink. Yeah, £25 for the pink one, without the charger. No memory card. Let me just see if they've sold for that. Oh no, there's one sold for £40 for the pink one. 14.2 megapixels as well, I'm surprised. Doesn't say on it what the megapixels are. A lot of cameras have stopped putting in big letters 14 megapixels or anything, but £40, and somebody's actually sold it for that without the charger. So yeah, I'll get a fresh battery, I'll charge it up, I'll see how it goes. Yeah, that's nice. Anyway, back to this. I got the two for £15, so that was 10 and 5, and I said to her, could you do 12? And she says yeah, she could do 12, so I'm going with 9 and 3 in my paperwork. These are going for new, maybe 50 to 60 pounds, second hand 30, and this people have been trying to get like £22 for, but I think it's more like a 9 or a 10, quite honestly. Just a minute, it is hot. I think I deserve a cold drink this time of night. Oh, that's nice. So I'm on to the second page now. Second page, all from North Cave this. Right, next was Jigsaw, Ravensburger, Jigsaw, Ravensburger, there you go. It's a 3D Ferrari jigsaw with a frame underneath and an axle, 2 axles even, an actual cover in plastic. So it's a model after you finish the jigsaw effectively. Nicely sealed. I paid £2. Should sell for maybe 7 or 8 quid. Maybe more, I don't know. Then I got this, and quite honestly, I was humming and hawing. You know, I always pick up the BT phones, but as I said to you, I've got new Wi-Fi, and it's less than half the price of the old one, and it's 5 times faster. Broadband, it's still fibre. The old one was fibre, but the contract I was on, which ran out about 2 months ago, was with KC. If you know anything about KC, they started out really good value. They went public, then they went private, then they got taken over by a hedge fund, and ever since they've been screwing everybody into the ground for the money that they could get, because they were a monopoly in the whole area. Nobody could afford the backbone to make their own network, but network systems are cheaper now, so people have been investing in backbone. Although there was no official competition, there is now, and I have signed up with their competitors. I'm saving nearly £40. Yeah, £40 saving in a month, every month, forever. You can't go wrong, can you? Anyway, part of that is not having a landline anymore. They said, oh yeah, we can provide you with a network connected phone, but it's so much more every month. And I'm like, how many people phone you that aren't salesmen over the landline? Nobody you know phones your landline, do they? I'm just going to ditch it. Anybody who rings my landline is just not going to get me. It's as simple as that. So anyway, I bought a landline. And I'm thinking, is it worth my while to even buy phones anymore, to sell for... Everybody's changing over. Well, in BT areas, they are having an adapter that'll use your old phone on the new system for the fibre. And it's basically a small adapter that fits onto your fibre connector box, and you just click your own phone in, which is great. Except this is the type of phone that doesn't have a power supply. It goes straight into the box, the BT box on the wall. So I don't know how they do the power supply ones. £2 though, brand new in the box, absolutely unused, with the instructions all nicely packed. There we go. But £2 because they have no use for it. I've got no use for it now. It's a big button phone for the old type person with some spare buttons, you know, one touch button dialing. So it might still have a relevance, but I don't know really. Certainly the old Panasonics and the old BT phones, they're only going to be used in parts now. People aren't going to be buying a brand new one anymore. They'll just have that legacy availability if they need it, and when it comes to the new generation, just say, nah, forget it. I'll use my mobile. So now we'll come to the really good stuff. I came across a stall and they had all sorts of junk, really, but they did have a couple of things that I bought off them, and I paid up for these. From here on, I am paying up a bit. I'm just telling you now. So I saw this and I saw this, and so I looked at this first. Angel Eye portable 2.5-inch LCD DVR and micro spy camera. So I'll show you. But it looks like they've started using it and then given up. So manual camera, tiny little camera on the end of a wire, and the idea is, if you can see, that's a screw hole. So you can fit it into something and put a screw attachment onto it as though it was a screw. Like for instance, I don't know, a picture frame or something. And then you can surveil your house. And a little DVR thing, which is great. Anyway, I started looking around it. And she said, oh, it's a £5 that. She says, we've never really had any use for it. Didn't stop and put it in a SanDisk 32 gig, SanDisk Ultra 32 gig card, which is worth more than the £5 she's asking. So I knew that straight away. So I haven't tested it or anything. But then comes the other bits that can make it look like a button in your clothing. You can carry it in your pocket, button in your clothing, 3 different sizes of buttons, cover, power supply with USB, a clip-on back for if you are carrying it about, remote starter for starting and recording. So you put that in your pocket, you have your button cam on here on your chest, and you can, by the way, the camera has a microphone built in. A load of spare buttons. These are the ones that you put on your clothes to make them match the buttons that there are there, the black buttons. A couple of Velcro mounts, a USB supply, and then 2 USB to RCA adapter types. So maybe I'll have a go, maybe I'll sell it as it is. Even if I'm going to sell it as it is, it needs starting up and trying out. At least the DVR and the camera. I don't want to sell anything like this untested, quite honestly. So I might have fun with that. Take it around the car boot and see if it's decent resolution. Anyway, she said, oh yeah, they're about 30 quid then. Nice to know. I haven't looked it up actually. So it says it's 256 megabytes of flash memory and supports up to 32 gig cards. It says it's 628 by 582. So it's not exactly HD, but you know, it was £5 with a SanDisk Ultra card in. SanDisk Ultra, they're probably not worth as much as they used to be. 32,795. Yeah, it's the one I'm using in this. The 18 megabits a second SanDisk Ultra is in the Lumix. So that was a £5. Anyway, she also had this on the stall, and I'm like, no, it's not chocolate. I don't know why I put the tin lid on so tight. Anyway, it's done its job, keeping the inside nice and clean and tidy. And here we are, it's full of camera gear. And I thought it's all junk, and I started fishing around, and she said, that's a £5. And I'm like, oh, for everything in there? Yeah, it's a really nice camera. I'm like, oh, it's got a camera in. So I had a good dive. It's got a USB card adapter. It's got a Canon battery charger. It's got a Camlink cleaning kit, a digital camera tripod, yeah I know, cables, and then a camera case, more cables, and instruction manuals in 6 different languages, I think. 5 different languages. We want the English one. This is ours, English. Canon Ixus 860 IS digital camera, which is what this is. Just looks like the other one, doesn't it? But this is the 860, not the 160. Let's turn it on. There we go. It's got no memory card. Well, I can fix that. Fix that, no problem. Really nice camera. Absolutely pristine condition. She says, hardly used it. Anyway, it says cannot record. So it didn't show it. Let's do it again. There you go. There's a picture of me. Very bad picture of me. I mean, it would have been fine if I'd actually focused it. Everything's spotless. It's really nice. And when I say really nice, I mean really nice. I'm like, yeah, I'll have that. And she says, oh yeah, you know, it's a £250 camera, aren't you? I'm like, is it? Well, it would have been if it was new. Should the receipt's in there. £202 plus a 2 GB card for £31. I know, 2 GB SD card with black leather case. £31. Accessory kit, £15. And they've hardly used the accessory cleaning kits. Never been open. All the cables look very clean indeed, like they've been kept in the tin. And the cameras come out once or twice to take family photos. Great. It does look very similar, doesn't it? So that's the 160 that's probably worth, I don't know, 30. Let's have a look. Canon Ixus 160. Oh, my light's turned out. Gone dark, hasn't it? So, actually, they're all over the place from £50 to £130 for the Ixus 160. £87, £72. That's for this one. Oh, that's surprising. Give it clean. Okay, £66. That sounds right. Canon Ixus 860 IS. Here we go. Pre-owned £130, £92, £72, £66, £105, £53, £94, £119. Now, don't forget, this one's absolutely pristine. £124.95, £119. I did actually see one that was £155. So, not a bad £5 spent that. So both of those Canons came in at a £5 each and could easily make between them 200. I thought I was doing really well with the cameras, so I thought I'd have another go with another camera. Let me just turn another light on. Got dark, never mind. I could open that window door actually. It's not windy, so that works, sort of. Next was another camera. This was off a stall. He kept putting electronics and stuff out and I wasn't the first person there. But I just grabbed an armful of stuff because other people were looking at it and I wanted to look at it first. So I grabbed it all and I started going through it. And this is the first one I decided I'd keep. This is a Sony camera. I wasn't letting this go, but I wasn't telling him that. It's got its own spare battery, which I've tested and it works. This one is a DSC HX20V. Really nice. Turns on. Cyber shot. There you go. Nice screen. Language setting. Okay. There you go. Oh, I don't want to move it either. So there you go. I think that took 4 or 5 shots then. There's the picture of your camera that you're seeing me through and the lights over there. Yeah, this is a really nice big screen on the back. Sony, everything's nice about it. It's got a nice big battery. It's got a second battery. It's got a 32 gig card, verbatim, quite a good make. Our off-brand spare battery, which works, and a nice case. He said he wanted 25, and I said to him, would you do it for 20? And he said yes. Anyway, I thought, you know, it's got to be 60, 70 quid camera. It's a big Sony, big screen on the back. Anyway, it's about 100 quid, that one. Next, as I say, I was looking through these other stuff and somebody picked this up next to me and I'm like, I was kicking myself as soon as I saw it. Not the box, the fact that it's big binoculars, not the tiny little ones, not the crappy little ones. These Nikon binoculars. This is Nikon Action 16x50 4.1. I don't know what the 4.1 stands for. The 16x50 is the size of the lenses. Really nice. It's got rubber cups there. It's got rubber cups there. And yeah, it's got nice clean lenses. It's adjustable in its case with its instructions. So I said to him, how much is this? And as I said, the other guy had just looked at it and put it down without inquiring about it. It's like, oh yeah, maybe he just assumed it was going to be too much because it's Nikon. So the guy said to me, oh, what about 25 for those? And I'm like, would you do 20 on these as well? And he accepted that as well. And these are even better than the last thing. Probably, well, somebody else has sold some for 140. Yeah, really nice nick as well. So that was a good £20 spent. And I bought something else off him as well. This tripod. And I'm not sure whether you know the symbol. It's Manfrotto, which is, I think it's an Italian make. Yeah, it says made in Italy. Probably one of the best makes of tripods. A lot of tripods have a little plastic protector thing here to stop the legs moving out. Well, these have got special hinges up here, which are adjustable. So you can actually move the legs out like that to make it shorter or wider. You can actually get them to be horizontal, and for a special reason, and I'll show you in a minute. Anyway, there's 3 legs that obviously extend out because that's what tripods do. Like that. Well made Manfrotto. This is a 190X Pro B. So this tripod with the standard top on, which isn't this. This isn't the standard top. With the standard swivel ball top is about 100. The reason I was interested as soon as I saw this is this has got a 3-way, 1, 2, 3 adjustments, round, back and forward 90 degrees to the first back and forward. I bought some adapters, maybe 3-4 weeks ago. I bought a bag full of chargers and 3 camera adapters. Well, one of them was a Manfrotto, and I got 20 quid for just a single flex mount. Well, these 3 mounts with the 3 flexible areas, they're about 45 quid on their own. Yeah. Anyway, and it's also got a quick disconnect to put your camera in, and it just comes off like that. There's a little catch. A lot of quick disconnects don't have a catch, and they're certainly not made of metal like this. They're plastic. This is metal. Fits on the bottom of your camera, and then you go like that. It pushes it in automatically, clips back automatically without having to mess about with it like with the plastic ones, and the plastic ones are due to break. This is all metal, won't break. That's why they're £45. And this is why these are expensive. I'll show you in a second. So you can adjust the height, obviously, make it nice and high like that, but you can also push a little pin in, slide it in sideways, move it in over like that, and then adjust it again. Hold it nice and tight, and now you've got it horizontal to the workpiece with your camera pointing down, so you can have it right out over the workpiece that you're photographing. Or you can have the legs splayed out like that, so that you've got one horizontal, one at 45 degrees for funny angles where you've got uneven ground. This is why these are expensive. Better facilities than your average tripod. Let me just make it back into a vertical tripod. There's a little pushing clip here. Make it vertical again, and then slide it down, and it clips the little plastic. Well, it's not plastic, none of it's plastic except for these handles here. It's a little older, and the aluminium bits are a bit not corroded, but some of them are a bit pitted and old, worn looking. You can see they're quite used looking. The satin plastic pieces and the paint, that's all cleanable. This aluminium alloy, I think I can clean it with some maybe fine wire wool, and it'll bring it up and certainly get the pitting off the surface. There ain't a lot I can do with these chrome bits. It's not actually chrome, it's been chromed, but it's, again, alloy. I think because of that, it might not go for the full 100, but because of the triple way head, I could be looking for another 30 on top. So I might go with, like, say, 80 for the tripod and 30 on top for the head, which should be 110 instead of maybe 140, which is what it would have been if it had been really nice clean. I mean, it is cleanish. It'll need a right good clean though. So I said to him, would you do 20 on that as well? And he's like, no, I can't do 20 on that. Best I can do is 30. And I'm like, well, how about just 60 for all 3 items? And he's like, no, I can't. So I give him 25, and he was happy with that. So I got the camera for 20, the binoculars for 20, and the tripod and head for 25. And so yeah, that was the most expensive. So £65 on that one stall with that one guy. But I'm thinking in the region of 350, maybe a little bit less, maybe a little bit more, for me £65 spent with him. Right, that's your lot. I'm not going to make a gauge of how much it is. I've told you what I think, what each one's going to be. Could add it up, but you could as well. I didn't go to Hull. I'd spent £155.70 by then, and I thought, it's enough for me. And I've got some really good stuff to be getting on with listing, as well as all the old stuff. Cracking on. That's my plan for the rest of the week. Speak to you when I've got some more stuff to show you, or when I've got some more sales to show you, or both.